Hey everyone, we're live. This is the pre-show and I'm Jay Skinner on the Buyers and Sellers Show. Today we're going to have Gregory Sneed, LifeSaverFinancial.com. A friend of mine, we've known each other for a couple of years here, and he's a really smart guy, and we were talking about business ethics and life ethics. I said, we have to do a show about that. And he's really good on that. So he'll be talking to us about business and life ethics. And what was the title of the show? Something like what you do when no one's looking. Day by day. Day by day. Oh dear Lord, 3 things I pray. To see thee more clearly, love thee more dearly, follow thee more nearly, day by day. Oh yeah. Day by day. Day by day by day. By day by day. Day by day from God's spell. You remember that? How about that? Anyway, so nice to have you here. It's the Buyers and Sellers Show. I'm Jay Skinner, and I want to introduce you to my friend who's back in the green room, Mr. Gregory Sneed. Hey, Gregory.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Jay.
How you doing, ma'am?
I'm fantastic, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for coming into the Buyers and Sellers Show. This is fantastic. So we're talking about things. I want to get right into it because everybody knows that we're, what I say, we're going on a timeline. I try to run it about 30 minutes, and we want to get to the point and get good and give give everybody something that they can take home and use when they get done. And so we talked about this. You titled it for me, What You Do When No One Is Looking. And talk about that. What exactly did that mean to you? And why are we here?
Well, first off, thanks for having me today, Jay. And excited. I've been watching your show for many months, almost a little more than a year. So it's great to be on. So it's sort of inspired by, you have the quote on the screen there with C.S. Lewis, where integrity is doing the right thing even when no one is watching. And so when we're under microscope, if we're on video, if we're in view of people, then you're on stage, so to speak, and you're performing. But when you're away from everyone, when nobody's watching, what are the things that you do? And that's important in a number of professions, especially in mine, where I'm in financial services, where people are entrusting this advisor or the coach or whatever with their money, or to point them in the right direction. And you want to know that they're honestly looking out for your best interests, as opposed to just saying the right things, maybe some manipulation or sales technique just for a sale and just for commission.
Amen to that. Look, okay, and while we're here, of course, we'll see if people come in. I'm interested in your comments. And there's Eric Flournoy, says Sneed.
Yeah, exactly.
Eric, so glad you're here today. This is great.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of people watching here. I love it. This thing goes, we're live on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube all around the world. And so we got people watching. It's pretty cool.
You got the world behind you too. So you got to see the maps behind you.
Oh yeah, you got the world right there behind me, and the world's
behind you, and the world's in front of you too.
It is. Let's kind of look in here, talk about this, because this was one of your comments when we were talking earlier.
Yes. Okay. So tell the truth. Remember the old show, the Tell the Truth, and you tell whether somebody was lying or not. But I guess when you're in sales, you want to sell with integrity, ideally. But a lot of sales backgrounds were manipulative and deceptive. The snake oil. Oh yeah, this tonic. Remember those tonics that were going to cure every ailment that you have, and cancer, this, that, and the other, and but it's not approved by the FDA or what have you. So sales people or sales industry has a history of being perhaps manipulative. And so that's the battle a lot of times that you're dealing with a customer, because they're on their guard, because maybe they've been had before, they've been taken or bamboozled or led astray, and so you want to approach things from integrity, and I think that's a better place to be.
Absolutely. And you have a story about, I think it was a retail clerk and some change and how that works. So that's a great illustration. Would you share that with our people?
Yeah. So from time to time, we go to the store, and now we're getting less of this because we're not dealing cash so much. You're putting a card. But in the old days, when you gave somebody a $20 bill, and the item was a certain charge, and then they would have to give you change back in dollar bills. Well, what happens, or what would you do if the clerk gave you back too much money? Is that found money? Is it like hitting the lottery? Like, hey, I got an extra $5.
Mhm.
The clerk may not be aware of it. Back then, there weren't necessarily a lot of cameras. So you have that decision point, that fork in the road, to say, do you tell them, hey, you gave me back too much money? Or is that an extra $5 that you put in your pocket?
What do
And
you do?
so it happens. And there are times where the clerk is actually absolutely stunned and surprised that I would say to them, hey, you gave me back too much money. And I take that
Yeah.
into consideration, because the clerk is probably an hourly employee. A lot of businesses will deduct from their money if they come up short. If they draw short, they're gonna
Sure.
they gotta make that up. So that's part of the thing about what do you do when no one's looking.
Hey, Vision Board Music. Hello, Vision. Glad you're here. Hi.
Hey,
Thanks for coming. Sue, Eric, morning, gents. God's blessings. And then Sharon Skinner Hoffmeister. Sharon is my niece, and she runs a business that's primarily online, where she goes live. And today will be day 966 consecutive live broadcasts for her business.
wow, that's impressive.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Wow. Sharon, I'm so proud of you. So let's see. I'm just kind of going down here. This is a good one. What are you thinking about that, Greg?
From my dad. So my dad, my dad had a lot of things to share, and wisdom and fables, like Papa Sneed's fables. But this was one that he often would mention to me, is that nobody can take away your integrity. You give it away voluntarily. That I think he initially had said that you give it up on your own, when I was younger, and then kind of migrated to a little more elevated syntax in the language there. But that's the issue. You have to hold on to your own integrity. Nobody can take that from you. You give that up. So you make that decision. You come to that fork in the road. Am I going to do the right thing, or am I going to do something that is not the right thing? So we're faced with that decisions.
Oh, well, Eric's shouting out to Sharon, still rocking it. She
Yep,
is.
96, yeah.
And if you guys want to find her website, it's www.sharonhoffmeister.com. It's like, I want to help Sharon. I always want to help Sharon go, go,
Yeah,
go.
she's
I
on a
think
road.
she's going to have a big party at
Yeah, there
1,000.
you go. That's it.
Let's see what else we got here. When we were talking about that, and then we got into, and this is the business side of it, because professions, and you talked about different situations, particularly where ethics are important in professions. Maybe you can expand a little bit on that.
Yeah, sure. So I'm in insurance. I market life insurance, long-term care, final expense, and the different states have different requirements. State of California is pretty strict, and it requires a number of continuing education credits, 24 hours every 2 years. And then part of that, a subset of it, is in ethics. So they have to take I think it's 3 hours of ethics before renewing your license. And the expectation is that looking for an insurance agent to be ethical in the practice to sell or not sell something that the client doesn't need, or to fully disclose all the information, don't hide anything back, not to be commission driven. I mean, we're in it for make money, but that can't be your primary motivation. Your primary should be trying to do the best thing for the client. So that's a big part of it. And so insurance, you would think lawyers, you definitely would like to have your doctor to have some ethics, that they've studied the procedure, or they know a bit about the medicine that they're about to prescribe. And, you wouldn't feel too comfortable like, yeah, I think that might work. I don't know. I've heard some things, but I haven't really checked it out personally. You're not going to feel encouraged to take that prescription. So those are some of the ones that really have a high level of ethics. And there's probably others that people can think of.
One of my sayings was always prescription without diagnosis is malpractice. And when you're talking about ethics and wanting to do the right thing, I dare say there's hardly anyone listening that thinks that they're doing the wrong things, and they've rationalized themselves.
Yeah,
How they're
exactly.
doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see that quote from the Pope, from the Pop says, "Pure gold, keep your integrity or give it away." From your dad. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Let's see what she say. I'm going follow Sharon. She's cooking. Harry, great. I'm glad you're a fan. Randall's here. Good day, guys. Great show. Randall's from Trinidad.
Yeah.
One of our friends.
Good to have you. Good to, brother.
I'm glad you're here. Thanks, Randall, for coming. So one of the things that I think about ethics is because we know that people aren't sitting around saying, well, I'm a bad guy intentionally, for the most part, at least. But sometimes they rationalize their ethics. And it might be, they say, well, the situation depends on what it is. Or I know in my case, when I was a very young boy, I used to ask my mom, is this okay to do? Or why is this or that not okay to do? It's bad. And she would say, well, because it's not socially acceptable. Well, that was a moving target, socially acceptable over time. So, talk about how you decide from your perspective what's right and what's wrong.
Well, I think a lot of that probably comes from our parents as to what we're taught. If your parents are both unethical, or maybe you're a single parent and they aren't unethical, then you're challenged as to whether you're going to develop that. Now, the next in line would be your teachers, your maybe elementary school teachers, to instill that to you, hopefully at a very young age. Potentially church, if the family or the individual is a church going or temple or synagogue or mosque, to be inclusive of everybody. So, I think all religions tend to try to teach or show people to do the right thing, to be considerate of others, do unto someone as you would want them to do unto you. So I think if you follow any of those, even if it's Buddhism, whatever they are, they all have that same commonality to have some level of ethics. And I think that's kind of where it starts. And then you can develop it as a teen or as an adult, studying, reading, wisdom. So it's not something that if you didn't get it from your parents, you're just done for life. You can eventually get it, but yet if you don't get it initially, you've got to seek it.
You got to seek it. And the karma, how about that? Regardless of the religion, everybody pretty much teaches what you do or what you sow, so shall you reap, in one form or another.
Yeah. It's interesting how there's been some, for you TikTok people, there's some TikTok videos that show karma, that shows people like doing something or not doing something, and then moments later that the fact that they didn't do the right thing, they suffered. So there's some of those reels out there that illustrate that pretty funny.
Yeah. This was a smart guy. You mentioned this to me earlier.
Yeah.
Have the courage to say no. Have the courage to face the truth. Do the right thing because it is right. These are the magic keys to living your life with integrity.
Absolutely. So Yeah, you have to have that courage, and that's not easy. That when we may fault somebody, but courage is something that is has to be developed and earned. To face the truth, to be truthful, maybe to speak up. The old saying: if you see something, say something. If you see injustice, maybe your coworker is being mistreated, but if you keep quiet, you're not participating in the injustice, but you're also not helping as well because you're not stepping up or helping the individual or saying something to the mistreater. So that's a very good quote from W. Clement Stone. I have to look him up.
He's a good one. Eric says, "Hi, Randall, Synanon. God's blessings. Good. Terrell and Yolanda are here. Thank you." And Randall says, let's see, your environment, parents, school, neighborhood will usually shape this. In addition, that feeling in your gut, soul will give you a guide.
Right. I mean, because you can come from a great place and be a horrible person, and you can come from a horrible place and be a great person.
Yep. So something inside gets formed. It's like in church, some people will say it's the Holy Spirit. Other people, in cartoons, I think it's your Jiminy Cricket. Jiminy Cricket sits right here on your shoulder and
Exactly. Yeah.
And
kids were probably born a lot with it, and then our society or our family, our neighborhood, our culture, starts to shape it in one direction or another. But if you look at 3, 4, maybe 5-year-olds playing with each other, they haven't learned bias yet. They haven't learned about race. They haven't learned about hate. Hate has to be taught. You're not born with hate. Someone has to teach you to hate. All right. I think love is internal, because if you look at animals and they're love, and a child is learning love, but you learn hate. Someone teaches it to you. So that's an interesting thing.
So I'm going to do kind of an interesting little break here, because we didn't talk much about your life and background that brought you here to this stage today. We became friends through a mutual friend, Jeffrey Gittimer, and we were on the 959 show, and that's some people here. It's like, how cool is that?
Yeah.
Let's see if there's other guys here. I want to see. Eric said, "Ha, Jiminy Cricket." He thought that was funny. Look at this. Randall's a smart guy. And he says, GS in West Indian communities, sometimes the family, friends, or neighbors had leeway to let you know when you were stepping out of line. Don't know how this plays out in today's politically correct world.
Yeah, that's the village concept of raising, or the neighborhood, or if you didn't, if you did something wrong and maybe your parents didn't find out about it, but your buddy's parents, they knew, and then they would say something and they would snitch on you and tell you. So, okay, you found out. But now people get so kind of like, well, we'll stay out of my business. That's none of your business. And so, our society has moved to a point of maybe less tolerance. It's just different. Yeah. So that's, but what he's going back is that's that community, that's that village of raising kids. So it's not solely on the parents. So good thing, Randall. Thanks for bringing that up.
I remember one time I got a call from down the street, and Grandma and Grandpa lived down the street, and I'm glad Grandpa felt comfortable to do this, but one of my sons went up to the street. We were out in the country, but there was still a traveled road. And one of my sons got up there and ran across the street without looking both ways, just about got hit. And Grandpa grabbed him by the arm and swatted him on the rear and made him cry. But he never ran across the road again. I'm telling you, he didn't harm him any, but he never forgot that lesson, because Grandpa had never done that before. And I was very happy that Grandpa felt like he could do that. Let's see what we got here. Ambassador Kona Rufus. He says, good afternoon, guys. Many thanks to you for the job you're doing. I'm watching from Liberia, West Africa. And I know, Kona Rufus, that country back there that's on the thing, that one right there, is the country of Liberia. And I'm helping involved in building a Christian school there with Christian Leadership International. It's already built. Hundreds of kids are in it now. Good things are happening. And the country of Liberia is one of the last remaining Christian countries in Africa. Now, they have lots of other faiths, and I've been there, and I've been with people from all faiths in meetings there, and they all try to get along, and they do get along, and it's wonderful. So I love Liberia. Kona Rufus, thanks for being here.
One of my favorite Michael Jackson songs is "Liberian Girl." Liberian Girl.
Oh, cool! I didn't even know that. That's good.
Yeah, good song.
Good conversation. How's Ya Yellow So? GS, the Taffy Man, Tally Me Banana, GS. What's GS stand for?
Gregory Sneed, probably.
Oh, there you go. Talking to you. Of course. I got it. That's Gregory Sneed.
The famous Banana Boat song that Harry Belafonte popularized. Deo, Deo, come Mr. Tallyman, tally me banana. So,
all right.
So he's saying, tallying your financial needs, and tally is a British term. It's not used too much here in the U.S. But you had a tallyman that would actually record. So you can tally things up like that. Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
There we go. Kona says, yeah, that's our beloved seal. Yep. And I love it. He's over there in Africa right now, West Africa. I love it. I've been there a couple times. People are wonderful. They treat me beautifully, and good things are happening over there. So, gee, thanks for coming. So we were into your life, Greg. You came from the New York area over to here. A lot of different experiences that put you in a position to be Coach Gregory Sneed. Just tell me a little bit about that got you in the position that now you're sitting in LA or nearby, I think, and telling people about ethics and trying to help their life be better as a financial lifesaver.
Well, what happened is during COVID, while we were shut down, we had a chance, or at least I certainly got a chance to, reflect on things. It was a time to the world stood still, and we weren't going out, and maybe we hadn't discovered all the Zoom and online. So the first few weeks or so, there's a lot of time of introspection and looking into things. And this is where I started going back to some things my dad taught. Had opportunity to go through some boxes of things or some books. So I think it was a great opportunity to do that. And I wanted to, it's like, well, what am I doing? And I always looked at my financial skills as a talent. And during COVID, I don't know what the inspiration was, but I saw it now that it was a gift. And it was a gift that was given to me. And sometimes a gift is meant to be, shared on your own. Other times someone gives you a gift so that you may share that gift with others. And so I wanted to help individuals with their money. And I feel that I have always been good with my money. My nickname that my parents gave me that people don't recognize the name any longer. But when I was a kid, my parents nicknamed me Jack Benny because I was even tight and frugal with my money back then. And so that helped me to know that this was a gift that I was given, and I enjoy helping people. So this is a way that I can help.
And while we're talking about that, I want everyone to know one of the easiest ways to get in touch with Greg is just to go to lifesaverfinancial.com.
Absolutely.
And if as you're listening to Greg, you're saying, I could probably use some financial coaching, or there's some issues or things you want to talk about, talk to Greg. Give him a call. Get on this. And here's another. I'm putting this up right now before the end of the show because there's his telephone number and information about him. You can go back, freeze the screen, and give him a call because Greg can do business all over the country. Is that right?
Operators are standing by right now.
Operators are standing. But you wait. There's more. Are you ready for this? There's more. Okay, wait till you see this. You're going to go, oh my gosh, because you've just been awarded something. Randall Sinanon says you are now an honorary West Indian. Congratulations.
Yeah,
and
man.
From the West Indies. And then I also have been allowed that honor because I was in Grenada when I was in 6th grade as a youngster and for a Christmas vacation as guest of the premier. So Randall, I'm honored. Thank you very much for that. And oh my gosh, another guy from across the ocean, Thomas Ackermark, says, "Hi, Jay and Greg." Where's
Yeah.
Thomas from? He's over there in Europe somewhere, right?
Yes.
It's like, Thomas, oh my gosh, thank you for coming and joining us. And let's see what's Eric say. He says, "Love the voiceover, Sneed. You're a natural, my guy." All right.
The operator is standing by. Yeah.
Oh, that was great. So let's do, we're going to kind of get into, I always hate to lead people up to the edge of the cliff and not tell them, okay, now what do we do?
Like,
And so Greg, start talking about that. Here we go.
Okay, so my belief is that everyone is faced with three choices, or if you take a look at your life, what it has been, what it is, and where it's going, you have three choices. Number one is doing things to make the world a better place. Are you making the world better? Are you helping out? Are you doing something that advances our world, our community, so that maybe one day we get to harmony and world peace and racial equity and, those kind of things.
Yep.
So I think that's the number one. The number two is where most people fall in. The majority, I would say 80-85% fall into this, that they really just having no impact at all. They're living their life, kind of going day to day. They're working, maybe they go to church, maybe they don't. But that's the majority of folks. If maybe they're struggling. There's a lot of people in the world that are struggling. They don't have the capacity to really make things better for themselves because they're just trying to get by and live a life. They're trying to do what they can for themselves. And then the third is doing things that make the world worse. Obviously, anybody that's doing mass shooting and killing is making the world a worse place. So that's in one extent. I also extend that to companies and corporations that know maybe their product is harmful. Maybe it's got a chemical that they know is cancer causing. There's an alternative, but it's more costly. But they make the decision to say, you know what, because of money, I'm going to keep my costs down, maximize my profits, and it's harming individuals, but oh well. So I think those are the three categories.
Okay, so before we tell them which one to pick, I want to confess, okay? I had an ethical issue when I was younger in business, and I've done a lot of things, it seems like I've always been in some sort of sales and selling. But one time I called a lady up and told her that this product that she was thinking about buying was on sale, but it really wasn't. And so she bought it, and she got a great product for a fair price anyway. But at the end, I felt so bad. This is 40 years ago. I felt so bad. I felt dirty because I'd lied to her and I was just needing a sale. And so once the deal was done and everything, she had this great thing. I won't even say exactly what it was, but it was like a $500 sale. And 3 or 4 weeks later, she comes back to look at what she'd bought, and it was a custom made thing, and she was so happy, and it was just beautiful. And I stayed with it. Then about 2 months later, she came in. I said, "Mary, I just got to tell you, I'm so sorry." It was like not exactly on sale. I felt really bad. She said, "That's okay, Jay." She liked me, but I really lost trust. I felt so bad. And I'm glad that I had that sort of a conscience. But it seems like maybe to you guys think that's not a big deal, but to me, it was terrible. So there's my confession. And I'm sorry I did it, but I never did anything like that since. So I'm happy about that.
Opportunity. That's, sometimes everybody makes mistakes. Nobody's perfect. But I applaud you for looking at that and seeing that part of it. Yeah, that's great.
Okay, Kona's going to make use of the website. Great, Kona, go there.
Thank you. Okay.
Awesome. And so now it's like drum roll. Which one of the three things should we do to pick? Boom.
At least you want to head it. Try and do something to make the world a better place. Just a little something. I mean, some people, they devote their entire lives. I have a former coworker who gave up his career and has made a commitment to helping children in Cambodia. And he was making a lot of money. He gave all that up. So he went, far to that it's extreme, but far to that side of saying, I'm going to make the world a better place. I'm going to do everything that I can to help out and do better. As I said, most of us are in that number 2. Hopefully nobody watching is in the number 3, like, the robbing, killing, and stealing. But most of us are in the number 2. So just that strive that every day or every week or every month to try to do something to make this world a better place. There's a song about there, isn't it?
Yes, there certainly is.
Greg,
you are known for being a happy, smiley, enthusiastic, and encouraging man. And I can tell people that I've been with Greg in different venues and situations online where he's a light to the world. And I can also tell you, if you guys get on to the lifesaver.com. Oh, what? Let me go. Sorry, I did backwards. LifeSaverFinancial.com, that you'll be blessed by him. And he has some videos there, some other information, ways to get in touch with him, and get to know Greg Sneed, because he's an ethical guy. And then also all of you that take my little discretion, my bad example. Boy, I felt terrible. Think back. What have you done where you think, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have done that? And Eric, thank you. Good on you, Jay. Thanks for sharing. You're welcome. Look back into your past. Have you done something that made you feel bad or dirty or like, I shouldn't have done it? And then just don't do it again. Simply don't do it again. And if you mess up, then, hey, we're not, any of us are beyond forgiveness. Just ask for forgiveness and move on. And that's the way to go. That's the way to do it. Greg, before we leave here, is there something that you'd like to be sure that you say to the people that are watching and listening about anything that you wanted to make sure that the message got out? This is a good time for you to wrap up the show.
Well, I think, one of them was that, one of the qualities or the prized possession is integrity. And just to reemphasize that, nobody can take that away from you. And if you haven't done enough to make the world a better place, then do what you can. Just a little something that helps it go there. Take you out of that number 2, like, I'm doing nothing. Let me make the world better. And that's my pledge to my clients, is that leave them in a better place than they are today. Help them to keep, more of the money they make. Those are the things. And then just provide a little joy and laughter, make people laugh. I tell jokes, I crack jokes, and that can be risky sometimes, but that's the risk. Sometimes somebody might get a little offended or something, but if you're not doing it out of spite with bad intent, then hopefully people will see the joy. But this has been fun, Jay.
Well, it has been. It's been awesome. If you don't mind, go back to the green room. I'll see you in a little bit. Don't eat all the fruit, and I'll meet you after the show.
I'm going to have a couple of grapes.
All right. See you in a minute. And everyone, I want to thank you so much for joining Coach Gregory Sneed and I for this, and me for this fantastic show today on integrity. And it says a last minute comment, stuff comes in and I don't want to miss this. It looks like great stuff from Randall. People of integrity expect to be believed. And when they are not, they let time prove them right. We don't know who said that. Sounds like a great quote. And Randall, look up for the offer sometime. And then Eric's saying, slide me, sis kid. Here we go. We're going to play you out. Have a great day. See you next Friday, 10:35 Eastern time. Come a couple minutes early if you want to hear me play. And God bless you. Thanks for coming. See you next week. See you next week. Thanks for coming.